Let's go.
We can talk about it, but all talking is cheap. Cause the last word is me. The last word is me. We can talk about it, but you ain't beating me. Cause the last word is me. The last word is me.
Yeah, I know.
The last word is me. The last word is me. The last word is me.
Say what?
The last word is me. The last word is me. The last word is me.
Can you believe that, man?
The last word.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Last word. Welcome back to The Last Word. We got another great, exciting show for you. But before we get started, won't you take the time to like, comment, and subscribe? We want to stay connected. We have another great show for you lined up. And unfortunately, today we're going to have to do our show without our co-host, Kyron, or better known as Sly Kai. For some reason, we've had to fill out a missing persons report for him because I have not heard from Kyron in the longest time, and I'm scratching my head. And I was thinking, where is this guy, and why can't I hear from him? I thought to myself, when was the last time I heard from Kyron? And surprisingly enough, it was a phone call we had, and we were talking about a segment that we were going to be doing on the Cincinnati Bengals and his prediction. Of course, you know his predictions. They are out there, and when he makes these bold predictions and he doesn't feel as confident in these predictions that he's made, he sometimes plays Houdini or whatever you want to call it, these disappearing acts. David Copperfield, that's what it is. So he's disappeared once again. So Kyron, if you can hear me, we are waiting and looking for you. I had to go back into one of the previous shows that we filmed, and I wanted you, the audience, to hear what Kyron was saying in regards to his Cincinnati Bengals and his pick. As everybody knows, that Joe Burrow is a good quarterback, but Kyron seems to want to put Joe Burrow on this pedestal. Let's go and listen to what Kyron has to say about Joey B.
I have the guy that everyone seems to have forgotten about, but I have not, Mr. Joey Burrow. This guy, let us not forget, is one of the only quarterbacks that can go tit for tat with Patrick Mahomes, and one of the only quarterbacks who's been able to knock off Mahomes in the playoffs in recent memory. This guy, the only way he does not thrive is injury, and that's, again, that can be said with any quarterback. It is a concern, don't get me wrong. But when this guy's on the field, Cincinnati Bengals are a top team in the league. And I think this year, Burrow's going to avoid any major injuries, and I think the world's going to remember that Burrow is the second best quarterback in this league.
Burrow is definitely a great quarterback. However,
I don't know. He wasn't on your list, so I don't think he was a great quarterback.
Absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. I told him, I've been trying to tell him for the longest time, the Cincinnati Bengals are not going to be what they once were because, I think that the league has diminished the running back position. And Joey Mixon has been with that team throughout the success that they've been having over the past, 4 years? Joe Mixon was a big part of that. When it was time to reward him for the success that he has helped contribute to the team, they didn't want to do it. They let Joey Mixon walks out the door, and he's now in Houston. And now they thought that they could rely on their wide receivers to carry on the load. And we can see that Jamar Chase is playing, but he is disgruntled. And without a contract done, I'm not sure if you're going to get 100% of Jamar Chase. With that being said, a lot of different things happening in Cincinnati. The next thing being that, is Joe Burrow really healthy? I said, Kyron, he's never healthy. The 2 seasons that he did finish the season healthy, he actually went to the AFC Championship game. He actually went to the Super Bowl. So Joey Burrow can actually produce in the big moments, in the big games. However, he's just, I believe there was a comparison. Joe Burrow is the Anthony Davis of the NFL. Just can't stay healthy. He's frail. So saying that all, Kyron, he didn't want to come on this channel and defend himself for that outlandish take that he had. And, one of the shows that Karen is really big on, he always tells me to watch. He's a big fan of Chris Burchard and Nick Wright on First Things First. Funny enough, I watched the show today. So let's go and take a look at what Nick Wright, which is one of Karen's favorite commentators. Let's look and see what Nick Wright had to say about these Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, and given the fact that they're 5-5, 1-5 in the conference, 0-3 in the division, you guys know I believe it would be over even if we weren't discussing Joe Burrow's injury. Mm-hmm. I think that is too big of a hole to climb out of. But without Joe Burrow, obviously everyone would agree the season is over. And I truly feel sick for Joe. I feel sick for Bengals fans. I know the Chiefs-Bengals rivalry, whatever it is, but this sucks. Yep. It sucks for football fans.
It this way, right?
No, and training camp. He has a sleeve on his calf because he already has some type of injury.
Call that a warning
They
sign.
put him out there.
Yep.
He injures it. Before week 1, before Brew, you and I argued about whether or not they should put him on the shelf. We all thought, sit him the first couple weeks. You struggle against the Browns anyway. Give him a chance to get healthy. They were like, nope, he's good to go. And then we saw him in week 1. Play the worst game of his career, throw the ball 30 times for 80 yards, and we're like, that looks nothing like Joe Burrow. So what'd they do in week 2? Put him back out there, and that was the week, Brew. He re-injured the calf. And now we debated whether or not he should play through it, whatever it was. What we know is in week 4, he played the Titans, and all of a sudden he's on the sideline flexing his arm, flexing his elbow, flexing his shoulder because he's getting beat up because he can't move around. They then somehow dance through the raindrops of all of that, and then he has some type of wrap or brace on his throwing hand before this game. Mm-hmm. And on a short week, they throw him out there again against the team that Brew calls the best defense in football, that has the most the sacks in football. And shockingly, your franchise quarterback gets hurt. You cannot treat this guy like he's expendable. They have all year, and now a guy who Brew's been injured a lot is now injured again. And your season's over.
I mean, for the first time in a long time, I don't really agree with what Nick Wright has to say, but I think that me and Nick are somehow, some way aligning with each other. As you can see that Nick is on point. He has some of the similar points that I've been trying to point out to Karen about this Cincinnati Bengals team. They're just not going to go anywhere. But Karen is allowed to have his pick. I'm sure he doesn't want to keep that pick. And I'm sure he does not want to answer to the people. So Karen, if you can hear me, the people want to know. We want to know. What is your take on the Cincinnati Bengals now? Welcome back. Shannon Sharpe is in the news. He allegedly or supposedly has a tape, audio recording of him and a female, I guess, having relations, as we can put it that way. Shannon Sharpe answered a lot of questions. I always knew Shannon was a straight shooter, but he answered a lot of questions that night, Let everybody know that he's a straight shooter doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? He was on Nightcap last night, and he had a few words to say about the recording. Let's hear what Shannon had to say.
Even when I'm behind closed doors, I still try to remain a level of professional, although I'm in the privacy of my own home. And I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities. But to have your most intimate detail on the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself.
Well, there you have it. Shannon comes out. The tape is legit. The situation is real. Let me know what your comment is. As for me, I'm just going to say it. Shannon, when I heard the tape, I thought to myself, how many other people have had tapes out there? And where did their careers go? Well, if you really think about it, they're still relevant. And Shannon, let me tell you something, man. You answered a lot of questions. You know, you let everybody know you're a straight shooter. And I only have one thing to say about the whole situation, man. I ain't mad at you, dog. You handle your business. And that's all I got to say about that. If anyone hates on you for that, man, so be it. Keep on moving. Keep doing your thing. And, you know, the sky's the limit, Shannon. Everybody knows Unc is the big dogs. Don't mess with Shannon Sharpe, man. That's the dude right there. Shannon Sharpe releasing tapes. What's next? Ladies and gentlemen, that's last word. We're here for you next week. Let's see what happens.